Hello and welcome back to my Let's Play of Out of the Park Baseball 18 with a drafted Reds team in the 2017 season. I just lost the series to the first place Pirates, 2 out of 3. I think, let's see, let's check the standings real quick. I think I'm a couple games back here. I've still got a wild card spot. I'm 2.5 games up there. So, I'm kind of scuffling at the end of the season here. Lost my first place team. I think I'm ranked like 10th out of 30th or 13th out of 30th now, when I was at the top of the power rankings for most of the season. But I'm kind of limping at the end. I think it has something to do with the fact that it's a young team. I didn't think they'd play this well all year. But that's one of the things about the simulation. If you don't have the right mix of veteran players, you tend to kind of die off at the end of the season, unfortunately. But we'll see. Maybe I can pull things out. I've got till the end of September here to try to catch up to the Pirates. Of course, I've got Yusmeiro Petit starting today. He's more of a long reliever at this point. They don't have their best pitcher starting, but that doesn't really seem to matter much. With my offense, it's just not very good. Let's see. I am going to play. We'll play Profar at third. We'll let Albies play second. I think. Let's see. Derek Fisher's been playing, very badly lately. Pretty awful. I think I'm gonna let Aaron Judge play. We'll have Aaron Judge play. Give him a chance to produce some offense for us. We got Brandon Moss. Actually, Brandon Moss hasn't been playing very well lately either, has he? Well, not terrible. He's actually been one of my best hitters lately. I'd like to get Mark Payton in the lineup, but if I play Aaron Judge, I think that'll take Payton's spot. Alright. It's been a while since we played Carson Kelly, too. And I don't think, Oscar Hernandez is tired anyway. He's not, well, he hit 2 for 5 the other day. He's kind of been up and down. He's not been playing terribly. Alright, we'll go ahead and lead off with Profar. I do think I'll, well, Heimer Candelario's kind of been up and down too. Let's see, we'll try to go left, right, left here. We'll bat Albies down in the 9th spot. Treat him like a second leadoff hitter. And we'll see if we can get some offense going today. Alright, welcome to Great American Ballpark, where the Cincinnati Reds are hosting the Milwaukee Brewers. Pitching today for the Reds, Yusmeiro Petit. Petit 1-2 on the season with a 5.03 ERA. Struck out 37 batters in 39 1/3 innings pitched. He'll be facing the Brewers' second baseman, Cesar Hernandez. Hernandez hitting .242 with 4 home runs and 36 RBIs. Oh, 2 count. Pettit strikes out Hernandez to start off the game. One down, that brings the catcher Wilson Ramos to the plate. Ramos hitting .267 with 10 home runs and 27 RBIs. Pettit delivers. Hard hit ball to the left side of the infield. Ramos gets a base hit through the shift. He's on at first base with one down for Mike Trout. Trout, the center fielder, hitting .297 with 27 home runs and 68 RBIs. Pettit throws over to first. Ramos back. Checks the runner. Delivers to Trout at the plate. Line shot to left field. Gets down for a base hit for Trout. The Brewers now have runners at first and second for Brandon Belt. Belt, the first baseman, hitting .282 with 14 home runs and 75 RBIs. Pettit checks the runners, delivers. Line shot back up the middle. Simmons picks it off for the second out of the inning. Two down. Brewers still have runners at first and second. And the shortstop, Jordy Mercer, steps in. Mercer hitting .241 with 4 home runs and 28 RBIs. Top ground ball back to the pitcher. Pettit fields his position, throws out Mercer at first. And the Brewers go down here in the top of the first. They threaten, but they strand 2 runners. And there's no score after a half inning. Pitching today for the Brewers, Ryan Williams. Williams has a 2-4 record and a 6.28 ERA. He struck out 23 batters in 38 2/3 innings pitched. He'll be facing Jurickson Profar. Profar playing third base today, hitting .270 with 8 home runs and 41 RBIs. Hard hit ball to second. Cesar Hernandez bobbles it. Profar is going to be on first on the error. Let's see. Williams with an average ability to hold. Ramos with a good arm. I think I'll play station to station with Profar today. That brings Lewis Brinson to the plate. The Red center fielder hitting .270 with 19 home runs and 60 RBIs. Williams delivers. Weak ground ball to third. Flores up with it, throws out Brinson at first. Profar moves up to second on the play. He's now in scoring position with 1 out for the first baseman Adrian Gonzalez. Gonzalez hitting .269 with 22 home runs and 62 RBIs. Weak ground ball to second. Hernandez makes a routine play to first to throw out Gonzalez. Profar moves up to third on the play. He's now 90 feet away for Aaron Judge. Judge, the right fielder, hitting .222 with 6 home runs and 21 RBIs. Weak grounder to short. Jordy Mercer up with it, throws out Judge at first, and the Reds go down here in the bottom of the first. They strand a runner, fail to score, 0-0 after 1. Right fielder Jeremy Hazelbaker steps in for the Brewers. Hazelbaker hitting .270 with 11 home runs and 26 RBIs. Pettit delivers. High deep drive to right field. Hazelbaker got all that one. It's into the seats. A solo home run for Hazelbaker, and the Brewers take a 1-0 lead here at the top of the second. Still nobody out. Wilmer Flores steps in. Flores, the third baseman, hitting .249 with 17 home runs and 68 RBIs. Popped up on the infield. Albee settles underneath it, makes the catch for the first out of the inning. That brings Brett Gardner to the plate. Gardner hitting .196 with 3 home runs and 4 RBIs. Pettit delivers. Fly ball to left center field. Brinson over. Makes a running catch for the second out of the inning. 2 down. That brings the pitcher Ryan Williams to the plate. Williams 0 for the season. Hard hit ball back up the middle. Simmons snags it on the fly. Williams is retired, and the Brewers go down here in the top of the second. They do score a run. They take a 1-0 lead after 1.5. Left fielder Brandon Moss steps in for the Reds. Moss hitting .254 with 13 home runs and 39 RBIs. Big shift on for Moss. He hits into it. Hernandez up with the ball, throws him out at first for the first out of the inning. One down, that brings the catcher Carson Kelly to the plate. Kelly hitting .231 with 5 home runs and 30 RBIs. Line shot to right center field, gets down and back to the wall for Kelly. He slides into second safely with a double. He's in scoring position for the shortstop Andrelton Simmons. Simmons hitting .229 with 5 home runs and 34 RBIs. Williams delivers, high deep drive to center. Trout makes the catch on the track. Kelly's able to tag up and move to third. He's now 90 feet away for Yusmeiro Petit. Petit 2 for 10 on the season. Line shot to left field. Gardner's able to pick it off, though. The Reds threaten again here in the bottom of the second, but they strand a runner and fail to score. The Brewers lead them 1-0 after 2. Second baseman Cesar Hernandez to lead off the inning. Hernandez 0 for 1. Popped up on the infield. Pettit underneath it on the mound, puts it away for the first out of the inning. Wilson Ramos stands in. The Brewers catcher 1 for 1. High deep drive to left field. I think Ramos got all of that one. Hits the seats. Another solo home run for the Brewers. They now lead the Reds 2-0 here in the top of the third. That brings Mike Trout to the plate. Trout, the center fielder, 1 for 1. Ground ball to short. Simmons makes the routine play to first to throw out Trout. 2 down in the inning. Brandon Belt steps to the plate. Belt 0 for 1. Line shot to center. Brinson over. Makes a running catch to retire Belt. And the Brewers go down here in the top of the third. They score another run. They now lead 2-0 over the Reds after 2.5. Ozzie Albies to the plate. Albies, the Red second baseman, hitting .280 with 3 RBIs.
Strike 3, you're out.
Williams strikes him out to lead off the inning. 1 down. Jurickson Profar steps to the plate. Profar 0 for 1. He reached on an error. He draws a walk here. He's on at first with 1 down for Lewis Brinson. Brinson 0 for 1. Ground ball down to first. Belt up with it, underhands to Williams, who covers. Brinson's retired. That moves Profar up to second base. He's now in scoring position with 2 out for Adrian Gonzalez. Gonzalez 0 for 1. High deep drive to right field. Gonzalez got all of that one, and it's not coming back. 2-run home run for Adrian Gonzalez. And the Reds have tied it up here in the bottom of the third. 2-2. That brings Aaron Judge to the plate. Judge 0 for 1. Top ground ball down to third. Flores up with it, throws out Judge at first. The Reds go down here in the bottom of the third, but they've tied it up 2-2. Leading off for the Brewers, Jordy Mercer. Mercer 0 for 1. Looper to right center field. Judge makes a nice play out there to retire Mercer for the first out of the inning. Brings Jeremy Hazelbaker to the plate. The left-handed hitting right fielder 1 for 1 on the day with a solo home run. Pettit strikes him out here for the second out of the inning. 2 down. Wilmer Flores steps to the plate. Flores 0 for 1. High deep drive to left field. Oh, but Moss is able to put it away on the track. And the Brewers go down 1-2-3 here in the top of the fourth. Score is still tied 2-2 after 3.5. Reds left fielder Brandon Moss steps in. Moss 0 for 1. Ground ball through the right side of the infield. Base hit for Moss. He's on at first base with nobody out for the catcher, Carson Kelly. Kelly 1 for 1 on the day with a double. Popped up in foul territory on the right-hand side. Belt underneath it, puts it away for the first out of the inning. Moss still at first. That brings Andrelton Simmons to the plate. Simmons 0 for 1. They put the runner in motion. Ground ball down to third base. Flores up with it, throws out Simmons at first. Moss moves up to second on the play. He's now in scoring position for the pitcher, Yasmero Pettit. Pettit 0 for 1.
Strike 3, you're out.
Pettit strikes out to end the inning. The Reds strand a runner here in the bottom of the fourth. They fail to score. Score's tied 2-2 after 4. Brett Gardner to lead off the inning. Gardner 0 for 1. Ground ball down to second. Albies up with it. Throws out Gardner at first base for the first out of the inning. Brings the pitcher Ryan Williams to plate. Williams 0 for 1 on the day. 0 for the season so far. And looks like he might... Oh! He almost had his first base hit of the year, but Judge makes a great play out there in right field. He hasn't hit much for me, but he's played pretty good defense out there in right. 2 down now. That brings the second baseman, Cesar Hernandez, to the plate. Hernandez 0 for 2. Pettit delivers. Line shot to right field, gets down for a base hit for Hernandez. He's on with decent speed at first base for the catcher, Wilson Ramos. Let's see, let's get a... Altavia's over his day-to-day injury. Alright, runner at first base, 2 down. Wilson Ramos at the plate. Ramos 2 for 2 with a solo home run. Pettit checks the runner, delivers. Line shot to center field, gets down for a base hit. The Brewers now have runners at the corners for Mike Trout. Trout 1 for 2 on the day. Fly ball to center. Trout got underneath that one. Brinson settles underneath it, puts it away. And the Brewers' threat is ended here in the top of the 5th. They strand 2 runners. They fail to score. And the score's still tied 2-2 after 4.5. Ozzie Albies to lead off the inning. He's 0 for 1. Line shot to the left side of the infield. Base hit for Albies. He's on at first base with very good speed for Jurickson Profar. I think I'm going to give him the green light. Albies takes off for second. Was it a pitch out? It didn't matter. Albies steals second. Six stolen bases of the season. He's now in scoring position for Profar. Profar 0 for 1 on the day with a walk. Williams strikes him out for the first out of the inning. Profar down, 1 out in the inning. Lewis Brinson at the plate. Brinson 0 for 2. Line shot to center. Base hit for Brinson. Albies with good speed. All rounding third, trying to score. And Trout guns him down at the plate. Oh. Well, I decided to try to be aggressive there. Brinson with the single. Albies thrown out trying to score from second on it. 2 down in the inning. Adrian Gonzalez steps to the plate. Gonzalez 1 for 2 on the day with a 2-run home run. They give Brinson the green light. A 1 the count. We'll take the green light back off. Line shot to right field. But Hazelbaker is able to put it away for the last out of the bottom of the 5th. The Reds threaten, but they fail to score. The score is still tied 2-2 after 5. Get Altavia back up. Headed into his 6th inning of work. He'll be facing Brandon Belt. Belt 0 for 2. Strikes him out to lead off the inning. 1 down. Jordy Mercer steps in. Mercer 0 for 2. Line shot back up the middle. Base hit for Mercer. He's on at first base with 1 out for Jeremy Hazelbaker. Hazelbaker 1 for 2 on the day with a solo home run. We'll get Altavia into the game. We got a little bit deeper bench now. Mercer on at first, 1 down. Hazelbaker at the plate. Altavia delivers. Ground ball to short. Simmons only played to first. Hazelbaker's thrown out. Mercer now in scoring position at second for Wilmer Flores. Flores 0 for 2. Ground ball down to first. Gonzalez up with it, takes to the bag himself. Flores is retired. Altavia gets out of the inning. And the score is still tied 2-2 into the bottom of the 6th. Aaron Judge to lead off the inning here. I'd like for Altavia to pitch to Gardner. Oh well. Judge 0 for 2 on the day. High deep drive to left field. I think Judge got all of that one. He connects for his 7th home run of the season, and it's not coming back. Reds take a 3-2 lead on the Judge solo home run. Still nobody out in the inning. Brandon Moss steps to the plate. Moss 1 for 2. Ground ball down to first. Belt up with it. Takes to the bag himself. Moss is retired. 1 down in the inning. Carson Kelly steps to the plate. Kelly 1 for 2 on the day with a double. Ground ball to short. Mercer throws out Kelly at first for the 2nd out of the inning. 2 down. Andrelton Simmons steps to the plate. Simmons 0 for 2 on the day. Top ground ball to Mercer. He throws him out at first. And the Reds go down here in the bottom of the 6th. They score a run. They now take a lead over the Brewers in the bottom of the 6th. It's 3-2. Brett Gardner to lead off the inning. Gardner 0 for 2. Altavia walks him. Nobody out in the inning. The pitcher Williams at the plate. Gardner on at first with good speed. Williams likely be bunting. Altavia checks the runner. Gardner delivers to Williams. He gets the bunt down. Only plays to first base. Altavia throws out Williams at first. Gardner moves up to second. He's in scoring position with 1 out for Cesar Hernandez. Hernandez 1 for 3 on the day. Altavia checks the runner. Gardner delivers to Hernandez at the plate. Ground ball to short. Simmons up with it. Throws out Hernandez at first. Gardner had to stay at second on the play. They're 2 down in the inning now. That brings the catcher Wilson Ramos to the plate. I think I might make a double switch here. New pitcher for the Reds, Bobby Wall. Wall 6-4 on the season with a 3.48 ERA. He struck out 77 batters in 64 and 2/3 innings pitched. Taking over at third base, Heimer Candelario. Switching to second, Jurickson Profar. And Ozzie Albies swaps over to short. Gardner still at second base. Ramos at the plate. Ramos 3 for 3 on the day with a solo home run. Wall checks the runner. Gardner delivers to Ramos. Strikes him out to end the inning. The Brewers threaten here in the top of the 7th, but they fail to score. The Reds lead them 3-2 after 6.5. Leading off for the Reds, Heimer Candelario. Candelario hitting .243 with 16 home runs and 57 RBIs.
Strike 3.
Williams strikes him out the leadoff inning. One down, Ozzie Albies steps in. Albies 1 for 2 on the day. Lays down a bunt. Ramos, with a nice play, throws out Albies at first. 2 down the inning. That brings Jurickson Profar to the plate. Profar 0 for 2. He's gotten on base via the walk. Line shot back up the middle. Mercer makes a nice snare out there. Profar's retired, and the Reds go down 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the 7th. They lead the Brewers 3-2. Leading off for the Brewers, Mike Trout. Trout 1 for 3 on the day. Ground ball down to third base. Candelario up with it, throws out Trout at first base. 1 down, Brandon Belt steps to the plate. Belt 0 for 3. He draws a walk here. He'll be on at first base with 1 down for Joey Gallo. Gallo hitting .215 with 11 home runs and 26 RBIs. I'm gonna check the ratings here. Gallo's a little worse versus lefties. There's 2 lefties in a row. Strom is ready, but Strom has been struggling very mightily. He's honestly no different versus lefties or righties, although his stats say otherwise. I'm going to leave Wall in to pitch to Gallo. Gallo checks the runner. Belt delivers to Gallo. Or Wall checks the runner. Ground ball to second base. Profar to Albies to Gonzalez. And Gallo grounds into an inning-ending double play here in the top of the 8th. The Reds lead the Brewers 3-2 after 7.5. Leading off for the Reds, Lewis Brinson. Brinson, the center fielder, 1 for 3.
Strike 3, you're out.
Cam Bedrosian strikes him out to lead off the inning. Bedrosian 1-6 on the season with a 3.7 ERA. He struck out 107 batters in 75 1/3 innings pitched. First baseman Adrian Gonzalez stands in. Gonzalez 1 for 3 on the day with a 2-run home run. Bedrosian delivers. High fly ball to left field. Gardner sells underneath it, puts it away for the second out of the inning. 2 down, that brings Aaron Judge to play. Judge 1 for 3 with a solo home run. Judge draws a walk here. He'll be on at first with 2 down for Brandon Moss. Moss 1 for 3 on the day. And Bedrosian strikes out Moss to end the inning. The Reds strand a runner. They fail to score in the bottom of the 8th. They lead the Brewers 3-2 after 8. Let's see, we'll do a double switch here. Peyton's a good left fielder, so we'll improve the defense just a little bit. And we'll get Edwin Diaz, the closer, into the game. New pitcher for the Reds, Edwin Diaz. Diaz 2-3 on the season with a 2.12 ERA. He struck out 77 batters in 51 innings pitched. Taking over in left field for Brandon Moss, Mark Payton. Leading off for the Brewers, Jeremy Hazelbaker. Hazelbaker 1 for 3 on the day with a solo home run. Diaz delivers. Strikes out Hazelbaker to lead off the top of the 9th. 1 down. That brings Wilmer Flores to the plate. Flores 0 for 3. Line shot to right field. Oh, Judge makes another nice play out there on right. 2 down in the inning. That brings Brett Gardner to the plate. Gardner 0 for 2.
Strike 3, you're out.
And Diaz strikes him out to end the game. The Reds win 3-2 here today at Great American Ballpark. Big win for the Reds. Pettit didn't have a terrible start. I think if I would have left him in any longer, he might have started falling apart on me. But that, I mean, 5 1/3, 2-run ball, that's pretty good for a 5th starter that's more of a long reliever. It'd be nice if I get a little bit more offense going. But if it's just enough, it's just enough. He looks like he might be a decent enough pitcher. Probably better get Hans Kraus out of that rotation. He's not pitching particularly well. Alright, let me look at my pitching staff. Looks like everybody's ready to pitch. Edwin Diaz is a little tired, but I think he'd probably be okay to go for an inning. We're going to get Aaron Judge in the lineup. This is a left-handed starter for the Brewers. I think Candelario's splits versus left-handed pitching. Oh, actually he's better. Alright. So we'll have him play. Profar has not been very good versus right-handers, though. Let's see, wait. Or versus left-handers, I'm sorry. He's been absolutely terrible, actually. So we'll let Albies play. And Profar Stead. Welcome to Great American Ballpark, where the Cincinnati Reds are hosting the Milwaukee Brewers. Starting today for the Reds, the right-handed pitcher John Gray. Gray 3-5 on the season with a 5.37 ERA. He struck out 65 batters in 65 1/3 innings pitched. He'll be facing the Brewers' second baseman Cesar Hernandez. Hernandez hitting .242 with 4 home runs and 36 RBIs. Gray's had a rough go of it, some injuries this season, but his last start was very good. I believe 7 innings of 1-run ball.
Strike 3.
Strikes out Hernandez to start off the game. 1 down. That brings the catcher Wilson Ramos to the plate. Ramos hitting .275 with 11 home runs and 28 RBIs. Gray delivers. Line shot to center. Gets in for a base hit for Ramos. He's on at first with 1 out for the center fielder Mike Trout. Trout hitting .296 with 27 home runs and 68 RBIs. It's a wild one. Ramos moves up to second. He's now in scoring position with 1 down. Gray walks Trout. The Brewers now have runners at first and second for Brandon Belt. 1 down in the inning. Belt, the Brewers' first baseman, hitting .280 with 14 home runs and 75 RBIs. Line shot to left field, gets down for a base hit. Ramos is able to score easily from second, and the Brewers have taken a 1-0 lead here in the top of the first. Trout at second, Belt at first. 1 down in the inning. Joey Gallo at the plate. Gallo hitting .213 with 11 home runs and 26 RBIs. Big shift on for Gallo. Ground ball to second. Actually short on the right-hand side of the second base bag. Simmons to Candelario to Freeze at first. It's a double play to end the inning. The Brewers do score a run. They're up 1-0 after a half inning. Starting for the Brewers today, Martin Perez. Perez, the left-handed pitcher, has a 10-10 record with a 4.59 ERA. He struck out 120 batters in 164 2/3 innings pitched. He'll be facing the Reds right fielder Lewis Brinson. Brinson hitting .270 with 19 home runs and 60 RBIs. Ground ball to short. Mercer up with it, throws out Brinson at first. 1 down in the inning. That brings the center fielder Albert Almora to the plate. Almora hitting .226 with 4 home runs and 28 RBIs. Ground ball to second. Cesar Hernandez makes the routine throw to first. Almora's retired, 2 down. That brings Aaron Judge to the plate. Judge playing left field today, hitting .223 with 7 home runs and 22 RBIs. Line shot back up the middle, base hit for Judge. He's on at first with 2 down for Heimer Candelario. Candelario hitting .242 on the season with 16 home runs at 57 RBIs. Line deep shot to left center field. Gets down for a base hit for Candelario. Judge is able to score from first. Candelario in the second with a double. And the Reds have tied it up 1-1 here in the bottom of the first. Candelario in scoring position. 2 down, David Freese at the plate. Freese playing first base today, hitting .236 with 10 home runs and 32 RBIs. Hard hit ground ball to second. Cesar Hernandez up with it, throws out Freese at first. And the Reds go down here in the bottom of the first. They score a run. They've tied it up 1-1 after 1. Leading off for the Brewers here in the top of the second, Jordy Mercer. Mercer, the shortstop, hitting .242 with 4 home runs and 28 RBIs. Line shot back up the middle, base hit for Mercer. He's on at first with nobody out for Tommy Pham. Pham hitting .233 with 13 home runs and 35 RBIs. Gray throws over to first. Mercer back. Checks the runner, delivers to Pham at the plate. Mercer trying to steal second. And I'll be damned, he made it. Mercer now in scoring position for Pham. Nobody out in the inning. Hard hit ball to the right field corner. Pham into second with a double. Mercer scores on the play. And the Brewers now lead 2-1 here in the top of the second. Still nobody out in the inning. Brian Goodwin at the plate. Goodwin hitting .294 with a home run and 3 RBIs. Pop up on the infield. Simmons under it, puts it away for the first out of the inning. Pham still out at second base, 1 down. Martin Perez at the plate. Perez, the pitcher, hitting .152 with a couple RBIs. Gray strikes him out for the second out of the inning. 2 down. Cesar Hernandez stands in. Hernandez 0 for 1. Pham still out at second base. It's a wild pitch. Pham's able to move up to third. He's now 90 feet away with 2 down in the inning. Gray walks Hernandez. The Brewers now have runners at the corners for Wilson Ramos. Ramos 1 for 1 on the day. Good speed at first and third. 2 down the inning. Ground ball down to third. Candelario up with it. Guns at the first, and Ramos is retired. The Brewers strand 2 runners. They score a run. They take a 2-1 lead over Cincinnati after 1.5. Leading off for the Reds in the bottom of the second, Carson Kelly. Kelly, the catcher, hitting .233 with 5 home runs and 30 RBIs. Pop up on the infield. Gallo under it, puts it away for the first out of the inning. 1 down, that brings Andrelton Simmons to the plate. The Red shortstop hitting .227 with 5 home runs and 34 RBIs. Ground ball to Gallo at third. He's up with it and throws out Simmons at first for the second out of the inning. That brings John Gray to the plate. Gray hitting .067 on the season with an RBI. Ground ball to short. Mercer up with it, throws out Gray at first. And the Reds go down 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the second. The Brewers lead them 2-1 after 2. Leading off for the Brewers in the top of the third, Mike Trout. Trout, the center fielder, drew a walk earlier. Pop up on the infield. Simmons calls for it, puts it away for the first out of the inning. 1 down, Brandon Belt steps in. Belt 1 for 1 with an RBI. Gray plunks him. He's on at first with 1 down for Joey Gallo. Gallo 0 for 1. Gray walks Gallo. The Brewers now have runners at first and second with 1 down for Jordy Mercer. Reds bullpen has to get active. I guess we'll get up Strom. Actually, no, I'll get up Stumpf instead. We'll only pitch Strom if we have to. Guess we'll get Michael Felice up too. It might be a long game. Runners at first and second, 1 out. Mercer at the plate. Mercer 1 for 1 on the day. Gray delivers. Ground ball to second. Albies to Simmons to Freeze. It's a 4-6-3 double play, and Gray gets out of the jam. Brewers still lead 2-1 after 2.5. Ozzie Albies to lead off the bottom of the third for the Reds. Albies hitting .282 with 3 RBIs. Perez strikes him out to lead off the inning. 1 down, that brings Lewis Brinson to plate. Brinson 0 for 1. Ground ball down to third. It's booted down there by Gallo. Throws to first, but not in time to get Brinson. Brinson's on the error. He'll be at first with 1 out for Albert Almora. Almora 0 for 1. Top ground ball back to the pitcher. He's able to throw Brinson out at second base. Almora's safe at first on the play. 2 down in the inning. That brings Aaron Judge to the plate. Judge 1 for 1 on the day. Line shot to left field. Base hit for Judge. Almora moves up to second on the play. Runners at first and second. 2 down for Heimer Candelario. Candelario 1 for 1 today with an RBI. Perez strikes him out to end the inning. The Reds threaten here in the bottom of the third, but they strand 2 runners and fail to score. The Brewers lead them 2-1 after 3. Leading off for the Brewers in the top of the fourth, Tommy Pham. Pham 1 for 1 on the day with an RBI. Line shot to right field. Brinson's able to make a nice play out there to retire Pham. 1 down in the inning. That brings Brian Goodwin to the plate. Goodwin 0 for 1. Line shot to center field, but Simmons, ranging far to his left and into the outfield, picks it off for the second out of the inning. 2 down. Gray's lucky they're playing good defense behind him today. That brings the pitcher Martin Perez to the plate. Perez 0 for 1. Ground ball to third. Candelario up with it, throws out Perez at first. And the Brewers go down 1-2-3 here in the top of the fourth with the help from the Reds defense. They lead the Reds 2-1 after 3.5. Leading off for the Reds here in the bottom of the fourth, David Freese. Freese, the first baseman, 0 for 1. Perez strikes him out to lead off the inning. 1 down, that brings the catcher Carson Kelly to the plate. Kelly 0 for 1. Line shot back up the middle, base hit for Kelly. He's on at first with 1 down for the shortstop Andrelton Simmons. Simmons 0 for 1. Line shot to center field, but Trout's able to pick it off for the second out of the inning. Kelly has to stay at first. 2 down now. That brings the pitcher John Gray to the plate. Gray 0 for 1. Line shot back up the middle, base hit for Gray. Kelly's able to move up to second on the play. Runners at first and second, 2 down for Ozzie Albies. Albies 0 for 1. "63-minute rain delay. Maybe I better get somebody up in the bullpen." Runners at first and second, 2 down. Albies at the plate. 1-1 the count. Fly ball to right center field. Pham's able to put it away, and the Reds go down here in the bottom of the fourth. They strand 2 runners and fail to score. They trail the Brewers 2-1. John Gray into his 5th inning of work. He's facing the leadoff hitter, Cesar Hernandez. Hernandez 0 for 1. We'll get Rivero up to. Well, no, it's kind of early for Rivero, isn't it? I guess we'll play the leverage game. Ground ball to third base. Candelario up with it. Throws out Hernandez at first. One down in the inning. That brings Wilson Ramos to plate. Ramos 1 for 2 today. Gray strikes him out for the second out of the inning. 2 down. That brings Mike Trout to the plate. Trout 0 for 1. He has drawn a walk. High deep drive to right field. Solo home run for Trout. And the Brewers are now up 3-1 here in the top of the 5th. That brings Brandon Belt to the plate. Belt 1 for 1 on the day with an RBI. He's also been hit by a pitch. Let's see. I think I'll get Rivero into the game. New pitcher for the Reds, Felipe Rivero. Rivero 5-1 with a 2.43 ERA. He struck out 70 batters in 63 innings pitched. Strikes out Belt to end the top of the 5th. The Brewers tack on a run. They now lead by 2. It's 3-1 after 4.5. Lewis Brinson, the lead off for the Reds. The right fielder 0 for 2. Line shot to center. Trout's able to make a diving play out there to retire Brinson for the first out at the bottom of the 5th. 1 down. That brings Albert Almora to the plate. Almora 0 for 2. Tough ground ball to second. Hernandez up with it. Throws out Almora at first. 2 down in the inning. That brings Aaron Judge to the plate. Judge a perfect 2 for 2 on the day. Hard hit ball to short. Mercer up with it. Throws out Judge at first. And the Reds go down 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the 5th. They trail the Brewers 3-1 after 5. Joey Gallo to lead off the top of the 6th for the Brewers. Gallo 0 for 1 with a walk. Ground ball to second. Albies up with it. Throws out Gallo at first for the first out of the inning. 1 down. That brings the shortstop Jordy Mercer to the plate. Mercer 1 for 2. Rivero strikes him out for the second out of the inning. 2 down. Tommy Pham stands in. Pham, the right fielder, 1 for 2 with an RBI. Line shot to right field, gets down for a base hit and back to the wall for Pham. Pham into second base with a stand-up double. He's now in scoring position with 2 outs for Brian Goodwin. Goodwin 0 for 2 on the day. Goodwin draws a walk. That brings the pitcher Martin Perez to the plate. Perez 0 for 2. The Brewers have runners at first and second. There are 2 outs in the inning. Rivero strikes out Perez to end the inning. The Brewers threaten here in the top of the 6th. They fail to score. They strand 2 runners, but they lead the Reds 3-1 after 5.5. Heimer Candelario to lead off the bottom of the 6th for the Reds. Candelario 1 for 2 on the day with an RBI. He draws a walk to lead off the inning. He'll be at first base with nobody out for David Freese. Freese 0 for 2. Looper to right field. Pham's able to catch it though for the first out of the inning. 1 down. Candelario still at first base. Carson Kelly at the plate. Kelly 1 for 2 on the day. High deep drive to left center field, but Trout's able to make the running catch for the second out of the inning. 2 down, that brings the shortstop Andrelton Simmons to the plate. Simmons 0 for 2 on the day. They put the runner in motion. Simmons with a deep drive to left center field. He got all of that one. It's not coming back. And the Reds have just tied it up 3-3 here in the bottom of the 6th. Let's see. Well, I might change who's going to pitch. We'll get Holder up instead. Set Glover down. Perez still in and pitching. I bet you if I put a right-handed pinch hitter up here, he's going to change the pitcher. We're going to let Yandy Diaz pinch hit here. Yandy Diaz, the pinch hitter, hitting 200 with 2 home runs and 11 RBIs. Base is empty, 2 out. Perez delivers. Ground ball down to first base. Belt up with it, takes to the bag himself, and Diaz is retired. The Reds go down here in the bottom of the 6th, but they score 2 runs. They've tied it up. It's 3-3 here in Great American Ballpark. New pitcher for the Reds, Jonathan Holder. Holder 4-4 on the season with a 3.34 ERA. He struck out 71 batters and 67 in the 3rd innings pitched. He'll be facing the leadoff batter, Cesar Hernandez. Hernandez 0 for 2 on the day. Fly ball to right center field. Brinson over to put it away for the first out of the inning. 1 down, that brings Wilson Ramos to the plate. Ramos 1 for 3 on the day. Holder strikes him out for the second out of the inning. 2 down, that brings Mike Trout to the plate. Trout 1 for 2 today with a solo home run and a walk. He gets on via the base on balls again. He's on at first base with 2 down for Brandon Belt. Belt 1 for 2 on the day. He's also been hit by a pitch. He's starting to feel it. That doesn't sound good. Strikes out Belt to end the inning. Kelly drops the ball, but he throws him out at first before he can get there. And the game's still tied 3-3 after 6.5. Ozzie Albies to lead off the bottom of the 7th for the Reds. Albies 0 for 2. Ground ball down to third base. Gallo up with it, throws out Albies at first for the first out of the inning. 1 down, that brings Lewis Brinson to the plate. Brinson 0 for 3. Line shot back up the middle. Cesar Hernandez snags it for the second out of the inning. 2 down. That brings Albert Almora to the plate. Almora 0 for 3 on the day. Ground ball down to first base. Belt up with it. Throws to Martin Perez at first, who covers. Almora's retired for the third out here in the bottom of the 7th. The Reds go down 1-2-3. The game's still tied 3-3 after 7. New pitcher for the Reds, Dan Altavilla. Altavilla 4-2 on the season with a 3.92 ERA. He struck out 75 batters and 57 in the third innings pitched. He'll be facing the Brewers' third baseman Joey Gallo. Gallo 0-2 on the day with a walk. Big shift on for Gallo.
Strike 3, you're out.
Altavilla strikes him out to lead off the inning. One down. That brings the shortstop Jordy Mercer to the plate. Mercer 1-for-3. He draws a walk here. He'll be on first with one out for Tommy Pham. Pham 2-for-3 with an RBI. Altavilla throws over to first. Mercer back. Checks the runner, delivers to Pham at the plate. Line shot to right field, gets down for a base hit for Pham. Mercer's able to move up to third on the play. And the Brewers now have runners at the corners with one out for Brian Goodwin. Goodwin 0-for-2 today. Altavilla checks the runners, delivers to Goodwin at the plate. They're trying to steal. Pham in safely. The Brewers now have runners at second and third with only one out in the inning. Altavilla strikes out Goodwin for the second out of the inning. Two down. That brings the pitcher Martin Perez to the plate. Perez 0-for-3. Doesn't look like they're going to pinch hit for him. Altavilla delivers. Ground ball down to first. Frees up with it. Throws to Altavilla, who covers, and Perez is retired. The Brewers threaten in the top of the eighth. They strand two runners and fail to score. And the game's still tied 3-3 after 7.5. I got a little bit lucky there. Aaron Judge steps to the plate. Judge 2-for-3 on the day. I can't believe he's still letting Perez pitch. Ground ball down to third base. Gallo ranges far to his left, but he has no play on Judge. Judge has an infield hit. He's on at first base with nobody out for Heimer Candelario. Candelario 1-for-2 today with an RBI and a walk. I think we'll get Diaz up. Looper to right field, gets down for a base hit for Candelario. Judge is able to move up to third on the play. And the Reds will have runners at the corners with nobody out for David Freese. New pitcher for the Brewers, Blake Wood. Wood 1-2 on the season with a 3.38 ERA. He struck out 40 batters in 29 and third innings pitched. Pinch hitting for the Reds, the first baseman Adrian Gonzalez. Gonzalez hitting .269 with 23 home runs and 64 RBIs. Ground ball to second. Cesar Hernandez up with it, throws out Gonzalez at first. The runner Judge has to stay at third. Candelario moves up to second. The Reds now have runners at second and third with one out for Carson Kelly. Kelly 1-for-3 on the day. Kelly draws a walk. The bases are now loaded. One out for Andrelton Simmons. Simmons 1-for-3 on the day with a 2-run home run. Oh man, what to do with Simmons? Simmons is probably one of my best hitters at avoiding the strikeout. He's got a great ability to avoid Ks, but I'm afraid he's going to hit it on the ground into a double play. Nothing for it but to let him hit. Line shot past the third baseman into left field. Runner Judge scores from third. Bases are still loaded, and the Reds have taken a 4-3 lead here in the bottom of the 8th. Bases still loaded. Pinch hitting for the Reds, Derek Fisher. Fisher hitting .206 with 4 home runs and 13 RBIs. Now pitching for the Brewers, Rich Hill. Hill 2-6 with a 5.6 ERA. He struck out 54 batters in 54 2/3 innings pitched. Well, let's see. He's much better versus lefties than righties. Well, not much better. I could let Tyler Goeddel pinch hit. I think I'll do that. Now pinch hitting for the Reds, Tyler Goeddel. Goeddel hitting .286 with a couple RBIs. Bases still loaded. Infield playing in. Looper to right field. He gets down for a base hit for Goeddel. The runner Candelario is able to score from third. The bases are still loaded. And the Reds now lead 5-3 here in the bottom of the 8th. That brings Ozzie Albies to the plate. Albies 0 for 3 on the day. Fly ball to right field. Is that going to be deep enough to score the runner from third? No. Pham makes the catch. Kelly has to stay at third base. The bases are still loaded for Lewis Brinson. Brinson 0 for 4. It's a wild one. Kelly's able to score from third. Other runners move up to second and third. The Reds now have runners at second and third with 2 outs. 2-1 to count to Brinson. I hope they give him the free pass. Bases are now loaded again. 2 outs for Albert Almora. Almora 0 for 4 on the day. Edwin Diaz might not be necessary. High fly ball to center. Oh, it drops in for a base hit for Almora. It's a base clearing double. 3 RBIs for Almora. And the Reds now lead at 9-3 here in the bottom of the 8th. Almora out at second base. 2 down. Aaron Judge at the plate. Judge 3 for 4 on the day. And Hill strikes him out to end the inning. But not before the Reds score 6 runs. They lead at 9-3 after 8. New pitcher for the Reds, Coda Glover. Glover 1-0 with a 3.4 ERA. He struck out 44 batters in 39 2/3 innings pitched. He'll be facing the second baseman, Cesar Hernandez. Hernandez 0 for 3. He's gotten on via the base on balls once. Pop up on the infield. Heimer Candelario settles underneath and make the catch. And Hernandez is retired for the first out here in the top of the 9th. 1 down, that brings Wilson Ramos to the plate. The catcher 1 for 4. Line shot to left field. Judge makes a nice running catch out there to retire Ramos for the second out of the inning. That brings Mike Trout to the plate. Trout 1 for 2 today with a solo home run and a couple walks.
Strike 3, you're out.
And Glover strikes him out to end the game. The Reds win today here 9-3 over the Brewers. Big win for the Reds. Well, Gray had a good start, and he had a pretty rough start here. The bullpen held it down, though. I kind of like the fact I've got a deeper bench now. I can pinch hit, and if they counter with a lefty or, you know, whatever platoon split they want, I can counter with somebody else. And it worked out today. Alright, let's check the pitching staff. Wall's ready, Diaz is ready. I think most people could pitch if they needed to. And we have Michael Fulmer starting. So hopefully we don't need to get in the bullpen anyway. Seth Lugo. Check out his batting splits. Actually hasn't pitched all that much. Oh wait, that's okay, never mind. Opponent's batting splits, that's what I'm looking for. Honestly, lefties are a little bit better. Right-handers aren't doing too terribly against them. I guess the OPS is quite a bit lower. So I'm going to go ahead, since Aaron Judge has been playing so well, we're going to keep him in the lineup. Simmons had he had a really good game. And as always, he plays good defense. So we're going to have Profar play third. We're going to get Aaron Judge into the game, playing somewhere. We'll have him play right. Brinson can play center. Brandon Moss can play left. Okay, Profar lead off, while Brinson bats second. Welcome to Great American Ballpark, where the Cincinnati Reds are hosting the Milwaukee Brewers. Pitching today for the Reds, Michael Fulmer. Fulmer 11-9 on the season with a 2.84 ERA. He struck out 176 batters in 187 innings pitched. He'll be facing the Brewers second baseman, Cesar Hernandez. Hernandez is hitting .240 with 4 home runs and 36 RBIs. Hernandez leads off with a walk. He's on at first base with good speed for Jordy Mercer. Mercer, the shortstop, hitting .243 with 4 home runs and 28 RBIs. Fulmer throws over to first. Hernandez back. Checks a runner, delivers to Mercer at the plate. Ground ball to short. Simmons to Albies to Gonzalez. And the Reds turn a 6-4-3 double play. 2 down in the inning. That brings Mike Trout to the plate. The Brewers center fielder hitting .297 with 28 home runs and 69 RBIs. Fly ball to right field. Judge puts it away for the last out here in the top of the first. The Brewers get a base runner, but they fail to score. After a half inning, there's no score here in Cincinnati. Pitching today for the Brewers, Seth Lugo. Lugo 3-1 on the season with a 4.03 ERA. He struck out 48 batters in 67 innings pitched. He'll be facing Jurickson Profar. Profar playing third base today for the Reds, hitting .269 with 8 home runs and 41 RBIs. 2-1 the count. Ground ball down to first. Belt up with it, takes to the bag himself. Profar's retired for the first out here in the bottom of the first. That brings the center fielder Lewis Brinson to the plate. Brinson hitting .267 with 19 home runs and 60 RBIs. Ground ball to third. Gallo up with it, throws out Brinson at first for the second out of the inning. 2 down, that brings Adrian Gonzalez to the plate. Gonzalez, the first baseman, hitting .268 with 23 home runs and 64 RBIs. He draws a walk here. He'll be on at first with 2 down for Aaron Judge. Judge hitting .232 with 7 home runs and 22 RBIs. Judge draws a walk. The Reds now have runners at first and second for the left fielder Brandon Moss. Moss hitting .254 with 13 home runs and 39 RBIs. Big shift on for Moss. Lugo strikes him out to end the inning. The Reds strand 2 runners in the bottom of the first. They fail to score. And it's 0-0 after 1. Leading off the top of the second for the Brewers, J.D. Martinez. Martinez, the right fielder, hitting .269 with 25 home runs and 78 RBIs. Fulmer delivers, ground ball to third base. Profar ranges to his left to pick it off, throws out Martinez for the first out of the inning. 1 down, that brings the first baseman Brandon Belt to the plate. Belt hitting .280 with 14 home runs and 76 RBIs. He has a .377 on-base percentage. Fulmer strikes him out for the second out of the inning. 2 down, that brings Joey Gallo to the plate. Gallo, the third baseman, hitting .209 with 11 home runs and 26 RBIs. Fulmer strikes him out to end the inning. The Brewers go down 1-2-3 in the top of the second. No score after 1.5. Leading off the bottom of the second for the Reds, Oscar Hernandez. The catcher hitting .266 with 11 home runs and 47 RBIs. Ground ball to second. Cesar Hernandez up with it, throws out Oscar Hernandez at first for the first out of the inning. 1 down, that brings the shortstop Andrelton Simmons to the plate. Simmons hitting .230 with 6 home runs and 37 RBIs. Fly ball to left center field. Goodwin ranges far to his left to pick that one off. 2 down the inning, that brings the pitcher Michael Fulmer to the plate. Fulmer hitting .169 with a home run and 3 RBIs. Ground ball to short. Mercer up with it, throws out Fulmer at first. And the Reds go down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the second. No score after 2. Chris Herman, the catcher, to lead off for the Brewers. Herman hitting .232 with 6 home runs and 31 RBIs. Fulmer strikes him out to lead off the inning. 1 down, Brian Goodwin stands in. Goodwin, the left fielder, hitting .250 with a home run and 3 RBIs. Ground ball back to Fulmer. He's up with it, throws out Goodwin at first. 2 down in the inning, that brings the pitcher Seth Lugo to the plate. Lugo hitting .263 with an RBI. Ground ball down to first. Gonzalez up with it, takes it to the bag himself, and the Brewers go down 1-2-3 in the top of the third. No score after 2.5. Ozzie Albies to lead off the bottom of the third. Albies hitting .268 with 3 RBIs on the season. Tries to bunt his way on. He's in there safely with a base hit. First hit of the game for the Reds. Let's see. Albies with good speed on at first. Jurickson Profar at the plate. Profar 0 for 1. They give the green light to Albies. He takes off for second. And he's in there safely with a stolen base. He's now in scoring position with nobody out in the inning. Line shot to left for Profar. Lagoon makes a nice play out there to steal a base hit. Albies has to stay at second base. He's still there with one out for Lewis Brinson. Brinson 0 for 1 on the day. Fly ball to left center field. Goodwin over, makes the catch. Brinson's retired for the second out of the inning. Albies still out at second. That brings the first baseman Adrian Gonzalez to the plate. Gonzalez drew a walk earlier today. Hard hit ball back up the middle. Cesar Hernandez ranges to his right to pick it off and throws out Gonzalez at first. Albies is stranded out at second base. And the Reds fail to score here in the bottom of the third. No score after 3 here at Cincinnati. Second baseman Cesar Hernandez to lead off the top of the fourth for the Brewers. He drew a walk earlier.
Strike 3.
Fulmer strikes him out to lead off the inning. One down. That brings the shortstop Jordy Mercer to the plate. Mercer 0 for 1.
Strike 3.
Fulmer strikes him out for the second out of the inning. 2 down. Mike Trout stands in. Trout 0 for 1. And Fulmer strikes him out to end the inning. The Brewers get out 1-2-3 in the top of the fourth. Still no score after 3.5. Aaron Judge to lead off the bottom of the fourth. He drew a walk earlier. High fly ball to right field. Oh! Martinez drops it out there. Judge is on safely at first on the air. He's there with nobody out for the left fielder Brandon Moss. Moss 0 for 1.
Strike 3.
Strikes out here for the first out of the inning. 1 down. Judge still out at first. Oscar Hernandez at the plate. The catcher 0 for 1. Hernandez draws a walk. Judge moves up to second. The Reds now have runners at first and second with 1 out for the shortstop Andrelton Simmons. Simmons 0 for 1. Pop up in foul territory in the right side of the infield. Belt catches it over by the Reds dugout for the second out of the inning. Reds still have runners at first and second. Michael Fulmer at the plate. 2 down in the inning. Fulmer 0 for 1. And Lugo strikes him out to end the inning. The Reds strand 2 runners in the bottom of the fourth. They fail to score. It's 0-0 after 4 at Great American Ballpark. J.D. Martinez to lead off for the Brewers here in the top of the fifth. Martinez 0 for 1. Fly ball to center field. Brinson puts it away for the first out of the inning. 1 down, that brings the first baseman Brandon Belt to the plate. Belt 0 for 1.
Strike 3. You're out.
Fulmer strikes him out for the second out of the inning. That's 7 strikeouts on the game for Fulmer. 2 down. Joey Gallo stands in. Gallo, the third baseman, 0 for 1. And Fulmer strikes him out for his 8th K of the game. The Brewers go down 1-2-3 in the top of the fifth. There's still no score after 4.5 here in Cincinnati. Albies to lead off the bottom of the fifth. He had a bunt hit earlier today. Ground ball to short. Mercer up with it, throws out Albies at first for the first out of the inning. 1 down, that brings Jurickson Profar to the plate. Profar playing third base today, he's 0 for 2. He draws a walk, he's on at first base with 1 out for Lewis Brinson. Brinson 0 for 1. They give Profar the green light, he takes off for second base. He's in there safely with his 26th stolen base of the season. He's now in scoring position with 1 out for Brinson. Top ground ball back to the pitcher. Lugo up with it, throws out Brinson at first. Profar is able to move up to third base on the play. He's now 90 feet away for the first baseman Adrian Gonzalez. Gonzalez 0 for 1 with a walk. Lugo strikes him out to end the inning. The Reds threaten again here in the bottom of the 5th, but they strand a runner. No score after 5 here in Cincinnati. Herman, the catcher, to lead off the top of the 6th. He's 0 for 1. Oh, it's starting to rain. Herman draws a walk to lead off the inning. He's on at first base with good speed for Brian Goodwin. Goodwin 0 for 1. Strikes out Goodwin for the first out of the inning. Herman still down at first base. That brings the pitcher Seth Lugo to the plate. Lugo 0 for 1. Lugo gets a bunt down. Fulmer jumps off the mound to field it. Throws to second to cut down the lead runner, Herman. Lugo's safe at first. He's there with 2 outs for Cesar Hernandez. Hernandez 0 for 1. He drew a walk earlier. Fulmer throws over, Lugo back. Checks the runner, delivers to Hernandez at the plate. Line shot to left field. Oh! And Moss is able to make a nice play out there to save a base hit. The Brewers go down here in the top of the 6th. They strand a runner and fail to score. No score after 5.5 at Great American Ballpark. Leading off for the Reds in the bottom of the 6th, Aaron Judge. Judge 0 for 1 with a walk. Strikes out here for the first out of the inning. 1 down. That brings Brandon Moss to the plate. Moss 0 for 2. I believe that's Moss' 3rd strikeout of the day. 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. That brings Oscar Hernandez to the plate. Hernandez 0 for 1 with a walk. Two-1 the count. Fly ball to right center field. Martinez is able to make the catch. Hernandez is retired, and the Reds go down 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the 6th. No score at Great American Ballpark. Jordy Mercer to lead off the inning here for the Brewers. Mercer 0 for 2. Ground ball down to third base. Profar up with it. Throws out Mercer at first. 1 down in the inning. That brings Mike Trout to the plate. Trout 0 for 2. Oh, line shot to left field. Gets down for a base hit for Trout. Back to the corner. First hit of the game for the Brewers. Trout's in the second base. He's now in scoring position with 1 out for J.D. Martinez. Uh-oh. They had to take Trout out. Trout replaced by Tommy Pham. Hopefully that's nothing serious. Pham out at second base. J.D. Martinez at the plate. Martinez 0 for 2 on the day. The wheels might fall off quickly for Fulmer here. Boy, they got a lot of lefties in a row. Altavia's tired. Strom's about all I've got. Oops. Pham out at second base. J.D. Martinez at the plate. Fulmer checks the runner, delivers. Pop up on the infield. Gonzalez puts it away for the second out of the inning. 2 down. That brings the first baseman Brandon Belt to the plate. Belt 0 for 2. And Fulmer strikes him out to end the inning. The Brewers get a runner in scoring position, but they fail to score in the top of the 7th. Still no score after 6.5. Andrelton Simmons to lead off the bottom of the 7th for the Reds. He's 0 for 2.
Strike 3, you're out.
Lugo strikes him out to start off the inning. I'm going to let Fulmer keep pitching. Fulmer 0 for 2 on the day. He draws a walk here. He'll be down at first base with 1 out for Ozzie Albies. Albies 1 for 2 on the day with a bunt hit. New pitcher for the Brewers, Rich Hill. Hill 2 and 6 on the season with a 5.86 ERA. He struck out 55 batters in 55 and a third innings pitched. Line shot down the right field line for Albies. He's into second with a double. Fulmer's able to score from first on the play, and the Reds now lead at 1-0 here in the bottom of the 7th. Albies in scoring position for the third baseman, Jurickson Profar. Profar 0 for 2 on the day with a walk. He draws another walk. He'll be at first with 1 down for Lewis Brinson. Albies out at second. Brinson 0 for 3 on the day.
Strike 3, you're out.
Hill strikes out Brinson for the second out of the inning. 2 down. Adrian Gonzalez steps to the plate. Gonzalez 0 for 2 on the day. Runners at first and second. Hill delivers. Gonzalez draws a walk. And the bases are loaded for Aaron Judge. Judge 0 for 2 with a walk. Ground ball down to third base. Gallo up with it, throws out Judge at first. The Reds had the bases loaded, but Milwaukee manages to get out of the jam. The Reds did score a run. They now lead 1-0 after 7. Fulmer into his 8th inning of work. He has 92 pitches on the day. He'll be facing the Brewers' third baseman, Joey Gallo. Gallo 0 for 2 with a walk. Uh-oh, high deep drive to right field. Gallo just took Fulmer deep, and the Brewers have tied it up 1-1 here in the top of the 8th. Chris Herman steps to plate. Herman 0 for 1. Liner back up the middle. Simmons is able to pick it off for the first out of the inning. 1 down. That brings Brian Goodwin to the plate. Goodwin 0 for 2. He draws a walk. He's on at first base with decent speed for Brett Gardner. Gardner, the pinch hitter, hitting 184 with 3 home runs and 4 RBIs. Goodwin takes off for second base. Oh, and he's out trying to steal. They're now 2 down in the inning. Hernandez cuts him down. Let's see if Fulmer can get through Gardner. He delivers. Liner back up the middle, base hit for Gardner. He's on at first base with 2 outs for Cesar Hernandez. Well, I wanted to give Fulmer a chance to win it, but I think he's lost. He's out of gas now. Who's in their bullpen? Tyler Goodell can play right field, so can Mark Payton. New pitcher for the Reds, Bobby Wall. Wall 6-4 on the season with a 3.41 ERA. He struck out 78 batters in 66 innings pitched. Taking over in right field, Mark Payton. 2 down in the inning. Cesar Hernandez at the plate. Hernandez 0 for 2 with a walk. Wall checks the runner, Gardner. Throws over. He's back. Checks the runner, delivers to Hernandez at the plate. Top ground ball, back to Wall. He fields it. Throws on to first. Hernandez is retired. And the Brewers go down here in the top of the 8th. They score a run. They've tied it up 1-1 after 7.5. New pitcher for the Brewers, Cam Bedrosian. Bedrosian 1-6 with a 3.67 ERA. He struck out 108 batters in 76 innings pitched. He'll be facing the Reds left fielder Brandon Moss. Moss 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Big shift on for Moss. High deep drive to right field for Moss. He just took Bedrosian deep. It's not coming back. And the Reds have taken a 2-1 lead in the bottom of the 8th. New pitcher for the Brewers, James Hoyt. Hoyt 4-1 with a 4.56 ERA. He struck out 62 batters in 51 in the 3rd innings pitched. He'll be facing the Reds catcher, Oscar Hernandez. Hernandez 0 for 2 with a walk. Liner back up the middle for Hernandez. Base hit. He's on at first with nobody out for the shortstop, Andrelton Simmons. Simmons 0 for 3. They start the Hernandez. I'll be damned. He's in there safely. That was a botched hit and run. But Hernandez stole the base. He's now in scoring position for Simmons. Ooh, liner back up the middle, and Hoyt's able to pick it off. 1 down in the inning. That brings Mark Payton to the plate. Payton playing right field. He's hitting .286 with a home run and an RBI. Hernandez still out at second base. Top ground ball back to the pitcher. Hoyt up with it. Throws out Payton at first. Hernandez is able to move up to third on the play. There are 2 outs. And Ozzie Albies in to hit. Albies 2 for 3 on the day with an RBI. High deep drive to left center field for Albies. But Tommy Pham's able to pick it off, make a running catch to steal a extra bases from Albies. And the Reds go down here in the bottom of the 8th. They score a run. They now lead the Brewers 2-1. New pitcher for the Reds, Edwin Diaz. Diaz 2-3 on the season with a 2.08 ERA. He struck out 79 batters in 52 innings pitched. He'll be facing the Brewers shortstop Jordy Mercer. Mercer 0 for 3. Diaz trying to record his 33rd save of the season, but he walks Mercer to lead off the inning. Mercer on at first for Tommy Pham. Pham took over for Mike Trout. Pham hitting .242 on the season with 13 home runs and 36 RBIs. Diaz checks the runner, delivers to Pham at the plate, strikes him out for the first out of the inning. One down, that brings J.D. Martinez to the plate. Martinez 0 for 3. Yeah, I guess this is Diaz's game to close out. Diaz checks the runner, Mercer delivers to Martinez. He walks him. And the Brewers now have runners at first and second with one out for Brandon Belt. Belt 0 for 3. Line shot to right center field, gets down for a base hit for Belt. Mercer rounds third and scores. Diaz has blown the save here for the Reds. And the Brewers now have runners at first and second with only one out for Joey Gallo. Joey Gallo 1 for 3 on the day with a solo home run. Martinez at second, Belt at first. Diaz checks the runner, delivers to Gallo at the plate. Fly ball to right field. Payton's able to put it away for the second out of the inning. That brings Chris Herman to the plate. Herman 0 for 2. Diaz strikes him out to end the inning. With the Brewers score a run, they've tied it up here in the top of the ninth. It's now 2-2 at Great American Ballpark after 8.5. Jurickson Profar to lead off for the Reds here in the bottom of the ninth. Profar 0 for 2 with a couple walks. Ground ball to short. Mercer up with it, throws out Profar at first for the first out of the inning. One down, that brings Lewis Brinson to the plate. Brinson 0 for 4 on the day.
Strike 3, you're out.
Strikes out Brinson for the second out of the inning. 2 down, Adrian Gonzalez steps to the plate. Gonzalez 0 for 2 with a couple walks. Gonzalez draws a walk. He'll be down at first base with 2 outs for the pitcher Edwin Diaz. Gonzalez at first, pinch hitting for the Reds, Heimer Candelario. Candelario hitting .245 with 16 home runs and 58 RBIs. 2-2 the count. Ground ball down to first. Belt tosses to Hoyt, who covers, and Candelario is retired. The Reds go down in the bottom of the ninth, and it's still tied 2-2 at Great American Ballpark. New pitcher for the Reds, Daniel Stumpf. Stumpf 2-0 with a 2.75 ERA. He struck out 29 batters in 39 1/3 innings pitched. He'll be facing Wilmer Flores. Flores, the pinch hitter, hitting .247 with 17 home runs and 68 RBIs. Stumpf delivers.
Strike 3.
Stumpf strikes out Flores to lead off the inning. 1 down. Pinch hitting for the Brewers, Jeremy Hazelbaker. Hazelbaker hitting .270 with 12 home runs and 27 RBIs. Stump delivers. Ground ball to second. Albies up with it. Throws out Hazel Baker at first for the second out of the inning. 2 down. That brings Cesar Hernandez to the plate. Hernandez 0 for 3 on the day. Looper to left field gets down for a base hit for Hernandez. He's on at first with 2 down for the shortstop Jordy Mercer. Mercer 0 for 3. Stump throws over to first. Hernandez back. Oh, it's a wild one. Mercer's able to move up to second. Or Hernandez is able to move up to second. He's now in scoring position with 2 outs from Mercer. Mercer 0 for 3. Stump delivers. Pop up on the infield. Shortstop Simmons settles underneath it, puts it away. The Brewers threaten here in the top of the 10th, but they strand a runner. It's still 2-2 after 9.5. Brandon Moss to lead off for the Reds here in the bottom of the 10th. Moss 1 for 4 on the day with a solo home run. He'll be facing Craig Kimbrell. Kimbrell 5 and 10. That's a wow. I don't know how you get that many decisions as a relief pitcher with only 52 and 2/3 innings pitched. But Kimbrell is a 7.18 ERA, and he struck out 84 batters in those 52 and 2/3 innings. Big shift on for Moss.
Strike 3, you're out.
Kimbrell strikes him out to lead off the inning. 1 down. That brings the catcher Oscar Hernandez to the plate. Hernandez 1 for 3.
Strike 3, you're out.
Kimbrell strikes him out for the second out of the inning. 2 down. That brings the shortstop Andrelton Simmons to the plate. Simmons 0 for 4 on the day. Line shot back up the middle. Base hit for Simmons. He'll be on at first base with 2 down for Mark Payton. Payton 0 for 1. Simmons gets the green light. Takes off for second base. And he's in there safely. He's now in scoring position with 2 down for Payton. Ground ball to second. Hernandez up with it. Throws out Payton at first. The Reds threaten here in the bottom of the 10th, but they strand a runner and fail to score. It's 2-2 at Great American Ballpark after 10. Let's see. We'll try to get another inning out of Stump here. Oh, they're both ready. I don't need them up then. Leading off for the Brewers, Tommy Pham. Pham 0 for 1 on the day. Ground ball down to first. Gonzalez up with it, takes to the bag himself. Pham's retired. 1 down, that brings the right fielder JD Martinez to the plate. Martinez 0 for 3. He draws a walk. He'll be on at first with 1 down for Brandon Belt. Belt 1 for 4 on the day with an RBI. Stump checks the runner, delivers to Belt at the plate. Runner was in motion. Martinez moves up to second on the ground ball. Albies throws out Belt at first. 2 down in the inning now for Joey Gallo. Gallo 1 for 4 on the day with a solo home run. Martinez out at second base in scoring position. I think I might double switch here. right, new pitcher for the Reds, Matt Strom. Strom 0-5 with a 7.26 ERA. He struck out 34 batters in 48 and a third innings pitched. Taking over in center field for the Reds, Albert Almora. Lewis Brinson shifts over to right. Mark Payton leaving the game. Martinez out at second, 2 outs in the inning. Joey Gallo at the plate. Strom delivers to Gallo. Fly ball to center field. Almora makes the catch. Gallo's retired. And the Brewers go down in the top of the 11th. It's still 2-2 after 10.5. Ozzie Albies to lead off the inning. Albies 2 for 4. Drive to center field. He gets down for a base hit for Albies. He coasts into second with a double. He's in scoring position for Jurickson Profar. Profar 0 for 3 on the day with a couple of walks. Profar not terribly good at sacrifice bunting, or I'd probably try that. Oh no, they try to pick off Albies at second. It's thrown into center field. Albies moves up to third. No need to bunt now anyway. Line shot down the left field line, gets back to the wall. And Profar has a walk-off base hit here in the bottom of the 11th to win it for the Reds. Albies scores. The Reds win 3-2 in 11. Well, good start for Fulmer. I wish Diaz hadn't blown the save, but, you know, the rest of the bullpen did its job. Strom even got somebody out, which is encouraging. Not as much offense today as I'd like, but I guess you can't score 9 runs every time. Alright, we'll finish today. We'll check out the pitching staff. Looks like the bullpen's rested enough. Tyler Skaggs is going to be starting. He's over his day-to-day injury, which is good. I guess I need to start playing Carson Kelly more often since he's on a hot streak. Also plays very good defense. Alright. Well, it was a good win. I'll probably call it quits here on the stream for now. Come back and play the series versus New York next time. See you later.